Let's talk a little bit more about the brightness fluctuation issue in combination with VRR, FreeSync or G-Sync on the LG CX. In my last video I asked you guys to provide me a couple of names from games where I can test this flickering issue on my LG CX, because you remember in my last video what I did, I tested with my PC AMD 5950 and the GPUs are 3070. I was not able to see any flickering in a couple of games during the gameplay. In lobbies, in loading screens, yes, there was flickering, but not during gameplay. So, a couple of people provided me with names like Tell Me Why or Modern Warfare. So I downloaded Tell Me Why because it's included in the Game Pass and it's easy for me to test. And yes, I saw flickering during gameplay. Welcome back to my channel, I'm Mark, and as always, if you're new to my channel, just take a moment, subscribe to my channel, you will do me a big favor. Thank you very much. And yes, even with all my lights on in my room, I clearly can see the flickering in this game. Especially when you go in this corner here, where everything is a little bit darker, I can easily spot the flickering, which is, by the way, in the same frequency when we have a look on the FreeSync information. And this goes down to 3.79, something like this sometimes, and this is exactly when the flickering happens. Okay, so what I don't understand right now is this is a 30 FPS game. There is no 60 FPS option, no 120 FPS option. 30 FPS with a lot of motion blur, and I love it. I love motion blur really that much that I can. Anyway, what is FreeSync or VRR actually doing? Why is this jumping like crazy? This is, don't get me wrong. I mean, I can clearly see the brightness fluctuation, but I wouldn't say that this is just an issue with the LG at the very moment, because if this would be fixed or not jumping around, we wouldn't see the problem, okay? So that's maybe the reason why I'm not seeing this issue on my PC, because we don't have these jumps. And in my opinion, this game is probably maybe a little bit buggy in terms of this, or something else is going on, okay? Don't get me wrong. There is a brightness flickering, yes, and it comes from the old OLED LG. No doubt about this, but this shouldn't happen, because I'm right now, let's say I'm going into the corner, and there is nothing happen at all. There shouldn't be a frequency change or FPS change whatsoever. It shouldn't happen at all. When you're walking around and there's some action on the screen, yes, I can understand it. But then, of course, you have probably really a problem to focus on flickering or whatever. In games like this, I admit, you can easily spot the flickering. Even now I can see it on the door. It's very obvious, and I'm very sure when I'm turning all my lights off and I'm playing this in my dark room, this can be very annoying, okay? Can be. I have to say, my gaming monitor, the AOC whatever 32-inch crap, I have to say crap because it's a what is the panel? A VA panel, sorry. It's absolutely, after I played on OLED, no TN or IPS or VA panel for me anymore. Anyway, I have exactly the same issues on my gaming monitor, especially during loading screens in lobbies where stuff like this happened, that the frame rate is jumping around like this. Because during loading screens, what's happened sometimes, the picture freezes for a couple of milliseconds, and also the frame freezes. So frame goes down to 5 frames or whatever. And of course, when FreeSync is activated, the screen will try to catch up. And this has to happen very quickly, very fast. And the one of the how you do this is with changing voltage and whatever. This is why we're seeing this brightness flickering. But again, I don't understand why this is happening in this game, because there's not even VRR or FreeSync support for this game. Because even you turn it off or on, it is exactly the same. We're talking about 30 frames per second. There is nothing what is stuttering, and yes, 30 frames per second are stuttering, but you get my point. It is a nice stuttering 30 frames per second. There is no frame drop or something like this. It looks okay. So again, yes, LG is flickering, but why is this happening? This is not coming from the LG. This is coming from the game or from the Xbox. Okay, so enough with complaining. We have two solutions here and I can recommend one solution. Turn off your VRR because you don't need it. In most of the games you don't need VRR and you will not miss it because 99.5% of the games are using a dynamic resolution to keep 60 frames or 30 or 120 frames per second, but they're not using VRR. So just go into your settings, disable VRR on the video mode and give it a try. The flickering is gone. Even you're using SDR, HDR, it doesn't matter. The flickering is really just related to VRR in combination with 120 Hertz. And that's the second solution. You can keep VRR on. So right now we are in fixed, VRR is off. This is perfectly 120 Hertz, but 30 frames per second, which is perfectly normal. But there is no flickering at all anymore. This picture is absolutely stable now. The other solution, of course, you can change your frequency from 120 Hertz to 60 Hertz and keep VRR on, which has the same effect. The picture is perfect, but you will lose your low input lag because this LG TV has a very low input lag in 120 Hertz mode, so around 7 milliseconds. And in the 60 Hertz mode, we're talking about 14 point something milliseconds. So which is a big difference, and even I can feel the difference between 120 Hertz and 60 Hertz input lag. It is really a big difference in my opinion. So I would recommend turn off VRR, keep it at 120 Hertz because of the input lag and you're good to go. And again, in most of the games, you're not feeling or you're not missing anything because 99.5% of the games using a dynamic resolution to hold up or keep up with the 60 frames per second or whatever frame rate is in this game supported, and they are not using VRR. So that's it for this video. Leave me a comment and let me know what you think about this issue, what you think about this video. Leave me a like, please, if you like this video. If you don't like it, leave me a like as well. Subscribe to my channel if you're new to this channel. And what do you think about this issue from the LG, which in my opinion is not just the issue from the TV, it's also related to the game or the Xbox. Because again, I haven't seen this problem on my PC when VRR or freezing is enabled. I just saw it the first time here in-game with this game, and I will do more testing, of course. And again, my recommendation is turn off VRR because you will not miss it. In 99.5% of the games, VRR is not supported. They're using a dynamic resolution and not VRR. So that's really it is. And I say goodbye. Thank you very much for watching me and stay safe, and I see you next time. Bye.